Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to record another live reading for you guys. This one is for basically, for when the sun goes into the sign of Pisces, which it just recently did, and March 2023. This is for all signs. So, yeah, I kind of wanted just to take a look and see what I got. This is a tarot reading. I'm going to be using the tarot. I may be picking some charms. But a lot of people miss my old individual horoscopes. I have received a lot of comments about that. But I prefer to do the readings this way at this time, and yeah, things have shifted and changed for me, so this is how I'm doing them for now. If you'd like to get a private reading, you can reach out to me by sending a payment through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App for $77.77 for the 30 minutes or $88.88 for the 45-minute reading. In order to book, though, you'll have to send me an additional email if you're not sending it through PayPal. Just let me know what your schedule looks like and to try to schedule. So, yeah, and then as far as like donations, I want to remind everybody that the reason I took my channel down recently, this was several months ago, was because I had not received donations and I was really struggling with my bills. I was not able to pay my light bill, and my electric was going to get cut off. So, because some people, very kind people, helped at that time, I was able to kind of get back into like a flow and pay my bills and continue to record and bring my channel back. But I want to remind everybody that I'm not able to monetize my channel, so all of my content is free. I have tried very much to do more content that I think that is different and unique, and really express myself in a very authentic, real way where creating content that I think is valuable, things that inspire me, things that I think people will enjoy. So please donate if you can. If you can, even if it's $10, it's super helpful. It helps me do laundry. It helps me get gas. It helps put food on the table when I run out of SNAP, which is very soon. So most everybody doesn't have this issue, especially when they're doing YouTube. But because I took a break from YouTube, YouTube made it very, very challenging for me to monetize my videos. I think I did the math. I think it's between 30 and 50 videos that I'm going to have to produce in order to hit the mark where I can actually monetize my videos again. And that's a lot of work. It's a lot of free content. That's a lot of time. And, I do anticipate at some point getting a full-time job. So, again, it's a timing thing, and all donations are appreciated. You can send it through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. But I prefer PayPal, Venmo. That way I can say thank you and send a card. I like to send handwritten cards. So that being said, I am still also partnering with Jackery. So Jackery does solar power generators going into the summer, and at least here, for those of you who live where there's winter, this is a great time to invest in a solar power generator. You never know when there's going to be a power outage. So yeah, I am going to pull some cards and jump right in and see what I get for everybody. Again, this is for all signs, and I'm just going to lay out a spread and see what I get. My voice may sound a little bit weird because I am still getting over not feeling good. But I feel like today I was like, started to feel the Pisces shift, the Pisces energy, which I do believe is very positive. Interesting. Okay. actually feel like this time with the sun into Pisces, and I think I said this in one of my other videos too, but I'm gonna say it again now that maybe I didn't, that things were going to be smoother, because Pisces is a water sign, and it feels that for some of you that you'll feel the shift, and you'll feel that things are smoothing out, or things are improving in certain areas of your life where there may have been a lot of stuckness. Because coming out of the Aquarius season, Aquarius is a fixed sign, and Pisces is not. So you're going to feel like where things were maybe fixed or rigid, you're going to see improvements or changes there. Now, I do see in the cards that there is some issue. We have the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is in what I call the bridge position. I think of like the main Celtic cross spread like it's like an island, okay? And anything in this bridge position is sort of a key blockage to getting to like the mainland, okay? Or like you can think of like the main Celtic cross cards as the mainland, and then maybe get into these other cards like going to an island. Either way, there's a bridge, and this bridge is, in my mind, can be a blockage. Now, because we have the sun in Pisces, I don't feel like it's going to be as severe as maybe it would have been during when the sun was in Aquarius. I feel like for most of you, this is some kind of no contact situation. I'm feeling for some of you, this is where you're not talking to someone. This could be family, this could be friend, this could be anybody in your life where you don't really see eye to eye, and there's been some kind of issue where there's no contact, okay? So maybe some disagreement. Could have been, I'm getting a lot of people in this spread. Could have been with a Taurus male or someone who has strong Taurus in their chart. This can be also Taurus moon, Taurus ascendant, North Node, even Taurus. Just like a very strong, like someone I want to say is being really bullheaded. There is some element of stubbornness. To me, this is like a direct result of stubbornness, because we have the Emperor, and the Emperor is like cement. Emperor is the wall. Emperor is something that's solid, that's not moving, seemingly not moving, okay? Now, I've known many earth signs to have moments where they cave. And I've known many earth signs to have moments where they're not so controlling or rigid. But in this position, with this Two of Swords, I feel like you're dealing with, or have been dealing with, someone who is very stubborn, who's being very bullheaded. And there's a lot of resentment between you and this person. Resentment, anger, potentially. And this is blocking you from, I don't even know if it would say moving on to someone new. If this is a family member, this is where you're having a difficult time making your peace with it, or having a difficult time getting to resolution. I have to say that there are some people, and because we have the sun in the sign of Pisces, that they don't have the ability to get to a resolution. They get stuck on the details. They get stuck on what he said or she said. They get stuck on how, somebody went and said something or did something, and that pissed them off and it hurt their feelings, and they get stuck on all of that. So they're not able to really get down to like what the issue is to resolve it. They're so upset that they're not able to actually get to a resolution. And the resolution needs to happen in order for people to like stay in communication, want to talk to each other. So I guess what I want to say, like my advice in this reading is for those of you who have a situation going on where there is potentially no contact, or there's been a disagreement, there's been an argument, there's been conflict, there's been issues around stubbornness or around in a rigid perspective, let's just say, or around feeling like you're not moving forward, okay? Because the Emperor is a stop sign. My advice would be to really kind of skip past whatever they said. Skip past it. Don't look at it. Skip past however it made you feel. I'm sorry, but it does matter, but we're going to skip it for this second. So we're going to skip over how it made you feel. And I want to get down to the bottom of the problem. Like, I want you to write down, like, what is the problem? And write down what is the solution. Write down options. Option 1, option 2, option 3. And I want you to, either come to a point in time or come to a place in yourself where you're like, okay, I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let this person go. I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to say, okay, goodbye, we're done, and not contact them, or make a decision to get down to the bottom of the issue, get down to the bottom of the problem, and come to a place where you're like, well, what are the options? How is this going to get resolved? What are these options? Option 1. Recently, I will tell you that, I provided some options to a person who didn't want to resolve things, and those options were very, very clear, and she resolved them very quickly because it was very clear to her what the options were. Now, am I going to be in contact with that person? No, but I got to a place where there was resolution because I provided some options. So this is where you got to get down to it and say, okay, what is the problem here? And most of you know what the problem is, but most of you have not discussed the solution. You have not discussed how going forward, how there is a possibility of moving forward. Now, some of you, you're not going to be able to move forward with this person. No. I feel like for most of you, there's too much conflict. I pulled the Tower also. But for others, and this is going to sound strange, for others, making amends is something that this person does want. Whether you can believe that or not, making amends. And it might kind of come out of the blue where suddenly somebody apologizes and says, I was a jerk, an asshole, whatever. Because I do feel like, okay, so like there is, with the Sun in Pisces, there is the opportunity for harmony. Pisces is not a sign that really likes conflict, honestly. Pisces is a sign that swims away from it, that shies away from it. A lot of times they see themselves as the victim of situations, but like they don't really like the conflict at all. It gets them way too upset. So some of you have been very upset by this. Like, this is not something I'm talking about for at length for a long time, because I feel like it. I feel like, this is in the cards. This is a blockage. This is something that people are going to either resonate with, and for some, this has not happened yet, because this is in a future position. So for some, this has not happened yet. Coming to a place in time where you're at a something's a moot point, but you're at a point where you're like, I can't deal with this person. I don't even know what to do with this person. And then sort of like out of the blue, there might be some forgiveness that happens, or resolution that happens, or some kind of harmony that happens, peace, agreement that happens. We have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is moving away from stress. So either those of you who are watching, you're dealing with somebody that you're going to be moving on from, absolutely moving on from, or there's going to be some amends. There's going to be some forgiveness. Whether you talk to this person or not, there's going to be some kind of understanding. I wouldn't say making up here. I don't necessarily feel like it's making up. I feel like it's more of like coming to some agreement that stops the stress from continuing on, stops the situation from being so stressful. And I want to remind everybody, for whatever reason, my guides are showing me the book by Anderson Cooper, The Rainbow Comes and Goes. It's a beautiful book. I got really into it. If you haven't read it, he wrote it so well, and it's so thoughtful, and there's so many little things in there that you might miss, but there's just a lot of things that takeaways from that book. And one of the takeaways was where one of the characters, I'm not going to spoil it, was talking about how there was different difficulties with a parent. And at the end of her life, all she really had was this portrait of this parent. And it just gave me this huge, like, bird's eye perspective, okay, of how when we get really into conflict, or get really into it with somebody, or we get really, like, we go off the chain, or we get really go out of bounds, or we say things we don't mean, or we just get so wrapped up in things, whether it's family, friends, it could be anybody. We get wrapped up in the drama of it all, but then we lose our perspective. We lose this bird's eye view of that it's not forever. Like these conflicts, these situations, nothing it's all transitory. It's all like, we just need to get our perspective back. We need to get our focus back. We need to get back kind of like on track. I do feel like some of you are going to maybe be making decisions. I feel like for some of you, this is conflict with a partner where you have family, where there's children. This could be somebody who could be the father of your child or mother of your child. I feel like there's some issues very strongly over parenting. That's coming up very strongly, number one. Number two, I feel like this is also a conflict with someone who it might have even been like, this is going to sound strange. Those of you who are watching, it might have been over whether you're going to have children with them or not. Like, you could be dating someone or maybe even, got into a long-term partnership, but there was never an agreement about, having children, or, maybe one person wanted to have kids and the other person didn't. And this is like a point where you can't move forward. As an example, that's a good example though, because I feel like whoever's watching, there is something where you can't really move forward. We have this strong emperor. We have this, if you look at the card, you can see it's like a concrete marble wall behind this emperor. Okay. It's when the emperor is in a positive, healthy frame of mind, this can indicate a fated meeting or a fated situation. But normally, I see this as coming to a point in time which you can go no further, because the emperor says no. So some of you may have been dealing with someone who put their foot down and said no over something, and you're not able to really resolve it. If you're dealing with a Taurus specifically, okay? Taurus specifically. Taurus sun, potentially Taurus moon. You're dealing with a person who is not going to randomly say yes. The Taurus will continue to be bullheaded. I don't necessarily know how you really, for those of you who are dealing with a Taurus specifically, how you're really going to be able to get through to this person. And I learned recently that you just sometimes cannot get through to people. And there are people that you're not meant to get through to. The Taurus has to make up their own mind. They have to come to their own conclusions. And to me, it's, for some of you, if you're dealing with a Taurus specifically, it's really about moving on from that situation. Like accepting the fact that the Taurus is not going to change. Accepting the fact that the situation is not going to change. Accepting the fact that whatever it is that you've been arguing about needs to become like less big. It needs to become smaller. And it's just an issue that came up. The world is not over. Life is not ending. You know what I'm saying? Like things, it's time to either make your peace with it and move on, or simply move on, or forgive and get to a point where you're like, okay, we really can't continue in this way. This is not healthy. We're going to forgive each other and say our goodbye, or forgive each other and try to make this work, or forgive each other and try to get to a win-win. I feel like for those of you who are watching, there is a lot of love with you and this person. There's a lot of love. Or there was once a lot of love, because we have the Two of Cups. And that's what makes it harder. If you're going through a time where there's difficulties with people in your life, if you love someone, it can make it really more challenging. It makes everything a little bit more tricky, because you can't just easily say, okay, I'm done with this. Because a lot of times there's some kind of investment. There's a financial investment. There's an emotional investment. There's a time, especially people that spend a lot of time together. But I do feel like, because I pulled the Two of Cups, I do feel that it modifies the situation. And I feel like whatever situation that you've been in, it will become small again. And that's good, because when the Tower happens and everything can be blown way out of proportion and things can become bigger and worse than they really have to be, or bigger and worse than they should be, if that makes sense. Okay, some of the things that I want to come through. Let me see. We have the Six of Wands showing up as the outcome. So the Six of Wands to me is climbing the ladder, getting ahead, getting a leg up, getting an offer, someone reaching out. Because to me, the Six of Wands, you can see he's holding on his arm like this. So to me, it's someone reaching out. For some of you, this is communications from a person. This could be a job offer. I usually see the Six of Wands as a job situation. To me, it's about work. It's about a job offer. It's about a raise. It's about a bonus. It's about a promotion. It's about getting a job, getting hired. So that's the outcome. For those of you who are watching, like, to me, that there is a specific person that's watching that is dealing with a Virgo male. If you're dealing with a Virgo male, because the Six of Wands can also be Virgo male. To me, it's specific Virgo male. There could have been a lot of like water under the bridge, issues back and forth with this Virgo male. Some of you also dealing with the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is an older, to me, wiser, mature. He is one of the Mr. Right cards. So this could be like a parent, or this could be your parent. You could be a parent. You could be dealing with, again, the father of a child. The King of Pentacles is, I do also see the King of Pentacles as Aquarius male, Leo male, again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, could also be Cancer male. But he comes up as different signs, so it's not always. But I feel like an interesting thing that I guess I wasn't expecting was for this Pisces, this energy of the sun in Pisces, to really be about relationships. To me, yes, we have the Six of Wands, and those of you who are looking for a job or things happening in career, there's going to be things happening in career. But I feel like for the majority of you that are watching, you've got some things going on with relationships. And it's like you're heavily focused on your relationship or dating, or you're heavily focused on trying to figure out what the hell's going on in a relationship. Maybe it's confusing for you. Maybe there's issues. I do feel like there is a lot of back and forth energy. I'm just going to say this, okay? This is important. Before I even continue, I want to take a moment. This is more important than, again, this is going to give someone some perspective. I want whoever's watching to take a moment after they watch this video and turn their phone off. And for wherever they are, I want you to go to the nearest store and buy either a newspaper or talk to a local that lives close to you about something that's going on in the world. And I want you to tune in to what's going on in the world. I don't care if you go to a sports game or if you go and you talk to someone that's at a coffee hut somewhere, or you go to like a pharmacy and you talk to the pharmacist about the weather. There is an absolute need to shut down the obsession that is going on right now in whatever relationship you've got going. There is a need to put it down and start to think about what's going on in the world, because it's more important right now that people start to think about what's going on in the world and stop obsessing about a certain person, or stop obsessing about their partner who's cheating, or stop obsessing about what's going to happen with XYZ person because that person does not give a F. And the thing about it is that all this time is wasted. To neither we have the Seven of Wands. This time that you're wasting going back and forth, this time that you're wasting obsessing about or thinking a lot about a specific person. And we got a lot of people showing up here, which is why I'm talking about this. And my guides are showing this to me. And it's kind of like, and I don't say this with, we all, like, it's like that time, that part of Sex and the City where Miranda catches herself obsessing about a person. It happens. Yes, we all do it. Yes, there's always somebody that we can obsess about in life, and always something going on in relationships. But I want everybody seriously to put it down for a moment in their life and start to look at what's going on in the world. I don't care. Like, if you want to leave your cell phone on, go on CNN or go on, check out the New York Times, whatever it is that you've got to do to check back in, because I feel like I'm talking to someone, my guys are showing me I'm talking to someone that is not checked in. And then when I say checked in, I mean checked into reality, checked into other things aside from what's going on with their relationship, checked into other things that are absolutely more important than what's going on with their relationship. And it might seem like this is coming out as being harsh, but to me, this is where I'm here as like a a light person. And it's come to my attention with some friends that cannot get their head out of their ass long enough to focus on what's going on. Like, they don't even know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. They don't even know, like, who the president is. They don't know. They don't know. If you are one of those people that is very much heavily into, like, texting all day or obsessing about a person or trying to figure out a relationship, you be watching a million pick a card readings. I don't care. If you're that person who never stops to look at what's going on in the world, who never stops to look at what's going on between the countries, or what the vibe is as far as, World War III, which is very much a possibility, who never stops to think and plan ahead, then during the Pisces season, we're going to have a serious issue. And to me, this is the biggest issue that people are going to need to face, because my dad is saying that it's a reality check. It's a reality check. And the Pisces is checked out. The Pisces, and this is the sun, with the sun is in Pisces, so everybody's going to be under this kind of very, Mercury retrograde-like energy. It's a very Mercury retrograde. It's easy to obsess. And you know what? I'm a tarot reader, so I love looking at relationships. I'll look at relationships all day. When I first got my deck of cards, I was up all night looking at the cards, reading the cards, trying to figure things out. But there comes a point in time where I think that everybody's going to have to get to the reality check of what's going on in the world. And that is important right now. And if you think it's not important, it is. There's a lot of weather stuff that's really important going forward. There's a lot of stuff with, electric power outages going on in the world that's going to be building up. And there's a lot with inflation and food. There are still people that don't even think it's important to prepare at all. Again, if I was to call, let me challenge you guys, okay? If you were to call a friend and be like, hi, how's it going? What's going on? Would they tell you about stuff that's going on in the world, or would they start to obsess about a relationship? Or would they start to send you pictures about what they're doing in their day? Would they send you the picture of their cat? Would they send you the picture of their dog? Do they have the ability? And again, this is a collective issue. This is not just one person. Do they have the ability to really check in? Or are they checked out? Do they have the ability to even talk to you about a current event that's happened? Do they have the ability to even think about it in terms of how it's going to affect them? I have a very sweet and endearing friend who, the minute I start talking about current events, this friend sends me a picture of their latest wardrobe. What they bought recently for clothes. And this is not something that's meant to be mean, but it's meant to be like a wake-up call. Like, it needs to be like a wake-up call. And my dad, he passed. I talk about my dad on my channel a lot. And my dad would be very much afraid for everybody. He used to get very afraid for me, because when I was younger, I wasn't paying attention so much to what things could happen. I wasn't listening to what he said. I wasn't paying attention to what was really going on. And part of it was I didn't really understand. And part of it is I didn't really know. I didn't really get that agenda until the pandemic happened. I didn't really get what was really going to come down the pike for the 7 years of tribulation, which those of you who are watching really should watch that video, because that is a wake-up call for everybody. I didn't understand. I, like most people that are watching, are very much into their day-to-day life. Some people are just trying to survive. Others are obsessing about relationships. Others are, focused on their career only and have no interest in relationships or sex at all. And all they care about is money. And, so everybody's got their own thing. But what I'm here to tell everybody is, we need to take a page out of my dad's book. I'm taking a page out of my dad's book for the first time really in my whole life. And I'm 41 years old. And I'm crying about it because I think my dad would be really proud of me. And it's like coming like really full circle. That's funny because it's the Pisces energy and we're all kind of coming full circle. But the full circle problem is that we are not really taking it seriously. We aren't taking the fact that there was just this bullshit pandemic happening and really prepared for anything else that's to come. And I feel like for so long, my dad was trying to get me to see it. And I was stubborn and I wouldn't listen and I didn't understand. I didn't put the pieces together. And part of it was it wasn't like I didn't believe him, but I didn't take it seriously. Part of it, I was too young. There were times in which I was a child. My parents, my dad especially, was trying to tell me since I was a child that these things were coming. That there were going to be things that were coming, and he was trying to get me to be sort of more more prepared for it so that I could survive. And I think he would be really proud of me for telling everybody this and coming down on everybody and saying, all of this stuff with this relationships was because we have the King of Pentacles, we have the Virgo, we've got the Cancer showing up, the Aquarius showing up, we've got all these people showing up. The Page of Pentacles showing up, all these people, King of Wands showing up. So that tells me that either your life is very heavily people focused, number one, or that pretty much everybody that's watching is going to be wanting to know what's going on with their relationship and who they're obsessing about because it's a complicated situation or because their head is up their ass, them or the other person. And they are not paying attention to what's important. And they don't take it seriously. And part of it is like, they just, again, it's like my dad telling me. It's like my dad telling me, and I wasn't listening. I didn't want to listen to what he had to say in the sense that part of it was that I didn't really fully see the bigger picture. And sometimes it's like to me, it's like there's like I have a strong Libra planet in Libra. And we all are like this to some extent. Like we all need to have specific information about how something's going to go wrong in order for us to really believe that it's true. Like we need proof, And it was like I needed proof from my dad to believe what he was saying was going to come to pass. And I needed proof of why I should really care and proof of why I needed to do what he said and a proof of like why I should make any changes in my life. I went about my life, for so long in a very kind of selfish way of doing things that I wanted to do or kind of rebelling from what he wanted me to do. And I didn't understand that I was getting lost in needing the proof of what he was saying. Why couldn't I just believe him? Why couldn't I just take what he said seriously? Why couldn't I just give him the respect of being older and wiser and having this feeling that something was coming and that and that I needed to be prepared for it? Why couldn't I just believe that? And in the end, the irony is that, I'm psychic. I am perceptive. But I think that we're all a little bit stubborn. We all have a little bit of this ego shit going on. And our ego tells us, well, we gotta do X, Y, Z and not really think about the future too hard, because the ego does not think about the future too hard. The ego thinks about what we're wearing. Are we overweight? The ego thinks about, am I getting laid tonight? The ego thinks about all kinds of crazy things, and it has nothing to do with what my dad's talking about. And I'm trying to really convey something here that's very important. It's very important that the people that are watching really pay attention to what's going on in the world at this time. That needs to happen. If that does not happen, then all you're doing really is getting sucked down into this ego stuff and I'll just say of stubbornness, of and it doesn't mean you're, like people might take this as like I'm coming down hard on people and like trying to be critical or whatever. Again, that's ego thing. That's an ego thing. I would ask that everybody show me the respect of that fact that I have this feeling that there are things that are coming, and I'm going to say that it's very important at this time that people pay attention to those things. Whether they believe me or not, whether they think that, I'm just a tarot reader and it doesn't matter, it doesn't part of me is going to continue to record videos because I'm called to do it, because that's who I am. So whether you believe me or not is really on you. It's not on me. I'm not here to prove that you have to believe me or that I'm right. I will tell you though that most Aquarius are right. If you've ever met an Aquarius, the people that really don't do well with Aquarius are people that didn't take the Aquarius seriously, that didn't listen to the Aquarius, and that didn't really understand what the Aquarius was trying to say. The people in my life that really haven't done well with me are people that haven't taken me seriously. They haven't listened to what I had to say. And it's ironic because that was my dad for so long, And it's funny because you just don't put the pieces together until you realize, oh, that's what he was trying to say. And again, this interesting thing about the Pisces is that some of you, not everybody, some of you might have these beautiful moments of realizing, oh, I get it now. I get what they were trying to say. Or I get something that was like maybe stuck, maybe a little bit stuck somewhere. And maybe you just didn't get it, or maybe you just didn't feel like you had enough proof, or maybe, you had that Libra, which we all have, Libra voice in our head that says, well, this is science over here, and this is over here, and this is what this person said, and so this is my theory, or this is what I believe now, And the thing about the Pisces has this, there's no boundaries. It's totally fluid. Pisces is the life energy. It's the fluid energy, as well as the death energy, because it's at the end of the day. But it has the water, the memory, that fluidity. So it's I would encourage everybody to think outside of the box at this time. Outside of the box. What's important here? If you've got a relationship that's not going anywhere, then it's not going anywhere, and that's the bottom line. And if you've got relationships that you can't make peace with, then that I would strongly, every day make a little list of the people that's on your shit list and be like, you know what, I'm gonna bless everybody. I'm gonna send all these people positive energy and hope that one day things can balance out. Hope that one day that peace can be restored, and one day that something good's gonna happen, with those people. But not everybody not everybody is going to be able to come to a resolution. And I'm hoping, and that in this month that people are actually able to, at this time, because it's still February, so I'm hoping that people are able to get to places of resolution in their life, and places of peace in their life, and places of love in their life. Because really, I think that part of the obsession, like, let's just say, like, you were really focused on what's going to happen with you and so, and you really wanted to know about your love life. It's an endearing quality to have. It's part of who we are. It's, some people have it more than others to want to experience a relationship, to want to experience love. And I think we're all trying to get there, and that's all that, again, that Libra, very strong Libra energy of wanting to experience love, wanting to experience a relationship, wanting to have, some people trying to settle down and get married and have kids, or wanting to have a healthy partnership, doesn't necessarily mean you're a Libra sun. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that everybody has a little bit part of their energy, whether they know it or not. If they're alive on this planet, then they have a little Libra energy somewhere. And they have a little bit somewhere. And it's not like they really are conscious of it, you know? But this whole need to have proof, or this whole need to believe only, maybe what you're told, or believe in certain things, I'm encouraging everybody to really open up their mind at this time to different things. I do see this time of Pisces as it's like the World card in the tarot, which is about having completed the karma. So many people at this time are going to have kind of this perspective of, I've been there, done that, or I've completed the karma, or the things that I wanted to learn. The World card is about I don't know, being like, getting to a place of wisdom with things, and reflection, and deciding what comes next after, again, going back to what I said about disclosure. Okay, the dark discloses things. So if you think about the tarot as kind of like the journey of the Fool, and that is the program that we're in, and the way it works is, once we get to Pisces, then we get to a point where we make our peace, we make our amends with things. We say our goodbyes, and we pass, and then we start over again. In the spring, and that the seasons mimic the journey. So if we're at the end, what's happening is at the end is preparing us for the new beginning, and the end is helping us see how far we've come, and the end is about really figuring out where we really want to go from here, and making our way in the world. And there is a card that's coming out. It's my favorite card, and I cried in one of my other videos over on Instagram about it, not too long ago, because it's, a lot of people don't really see how they're going to make it, or they don't really see how they're going to overcome their obstacles in life. But eventually, things have a way of working itself out, and many people are able to get to where they're going, Oh, okay, so the other thing too, there's a card that talks about the bridge, which is a time of transition in my other deck. So we have two bridge cards coming out here. And times of transition are difficult because things don't necessarily stick. And you start to become really worried about outcomes. Well, if I apply over here, then I guess I'm going to be stuck to that schedule. Or if I do this over here, I guess I'm going to have to make these adjustments. And so it's like, some of you may be thinking like that, but it's a time of transition, so you need to go easy on yourself, especially during times of transition. My guide is showing me this thing about there's this wild card showing up. And in this case, it could have a couple of meanings. One, you could be dealing with like a player type person. You're dealing with a player type person who has no intention of being with you at all, and maybe never did. Maybe their only intention was to get what they needed from the relationship, or their only intention was to have the experience of a relationship to you, whatever that experience was. Maybe it was sleeping with you, or maybe that was just having some kind of interaction with you. But to me, it's about not being serious, not having a serious perspective. There's also like a strong Gemini energy where there's multiple options and there's a lot of multitasking. This could be in relationships where, people have what I call the shuffle, where there's like several different people going at the same time, and it gets very complicated, and there's, a lot of juggling happening. It could be juggling in life where there's a lot on your plate, or there's going to be a lot on your plate and you're trying to, manage multiple tasks, maybe take care of the house and, take care of the bills and take care of the cars and, run a business or have a job on top of it, so there's a lot of juggling. And then there's this unexpected detours and things that the universe has planned that are surprises. So things that aren't really set where I can tell you what those are going to be, but it's more of just like to me about expecting the unexpected and things kind of popping up. I feel like for someone that's watching, they're going to have an unexpected breakup or divorce. It's going to come at them unexpectedly and it's going to be a surprise in the sense that maybe you knew like it should have happened a long time ago, or maybe you knew like it was kind of coming. But I've had clients where clients have said to me, well, I have no plans to divorce my partner, that could never happen. And then one day they come back to me and they say, well, actually, that partner just told me over breakfast, like they want a divorce one day, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. So, that is showing up here. There's also this unexpected surprise. Maybe you end up sleeping with someone who you're not planning on sleeping with. Like it's kind of a surprise. Maybe like, meeting someone that you have the hots for, they have the hots for you, is kind of like a surprise. There's something to do with sex and maybe a hookup or maybe like a one night stand showing up here. Or someone that just has the hots for you. That's what I want to say. Let me see if there's anything else. I just want to check my chat here really quickly. Okay. I'm just checking to see any last messages that want to come through. What are the last messages about this month? There's something really endearing. I always kind of joke about vow renewals. This is funny. I'm sorry. I joke about, I don't know why I joke about vow renewals to like everyone. Like to me, I find vow renewals, like people that get married twice or like they renew their vows and things like that. Like I find it so endearing, but I joke about it. I joke about it because to me that's like the ultimate like over the top, romantic energy, which not everybody has, and some of you, there might be someone that's watching that's going to be renewing their vows or, getting remarried to a person, or maybe they got divorced and then getting, getting remarried to that same person, I don't know, there's something endearing here about that. I don't know why that's coming through, but there is something also about renewal. And when I say renewal, so like there could be renewed hope or like a renewal of a relationship that that maybe you had lost hope on. The funny thing is that the Pisces sun energy is very hopeful. Like the Pisces is always kind of hoping and wishing and dreaming, that things are going to be okay. So, for some of you, there is a lot of hoping and wishing and dreaming in a romantic way. For some of you, it's not realistic in the sense that, you might be hoping, wishing, and dreaming things to work out with someone who absolutely does not want to be with you. But then there's other people that are watching that you're hoping and wishing and dreaming that things could work out with that person. And I feel like there's a lot of positive energy from that person and a lot of potential for things to be positive and to be good. There is a lot about falling in love here, too. So some of you may end up falling in love or falling for someone. And again, it might be expected or unexpected. But the energy of love is showing up. To me, it feels like it's more towards the end of March, or towards actually potentially even an Aries season. To me, that's like the new beginning kind of energy. So, yeah, I think this is a great place to leave it. Thank you guys so much for being patient and watching my videos. And yeah, I'll be back again for more, so stay tuned. I feel like this is going to be a very intense month. Let me know in the comments how things go. Please give me a thumbs up. Really helps my channel. And yeah, I appreciate everybody's love and support. So I send everybody big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. All the best. Bye.